What's up, guys? It's your boy James, aka 68J, coming to you on this Monday. And I'm super excited. I have a phenomenal guest, somebody that's super inspiring to the space as a whole, but means a lot to me. I've been following him since last year, XRP Las Vegas. This guy has one of the biggest hearts, incredible mindsets, a leader of leaders, guys. The one and only CoachJV. How you doing, sir?
Doing wonderful, man. Such an honor to be here, brother. Thank you.
I appreciate you to made your way, my friend, and really excited about some of the things that you guys got going on as you were sharing with me backstage. But with all the great things that I know about you, I would like to take this time to get to know who is CoachJV prior to crypto, and how did you get into this leadership role, if you don't mind answering those questions.
Yeah, I always say, I always say God did. Faith for me is a big thing. Well, I'll go all the way back to December 18th, 2006. I woke up from attempted suicide, man. So I woke up from attempted suicide, doing a massive opiate addiction, December 18th, 2006. And I went on this journey. I read a book called The Secret, which is over my right shoulder here. And I realized thoughts become things, and really had nowhere else to go but up. And from there, I went on this insatiable appetite for self-development. Ended up going into banking in 2007, going into 2008. And through The Secret and manifestation and goal setting and faith, moved up really quick to a VP position and started going into the banking realm. And through that process, I started to realize and see the banking system for what it really was. And I had to ask myself a question. I was like, man, this is, I'm getting to that VP position, going to executive banking school, continuing to move up the ranks. I'm like, am I really going to do something I truly don't believe in? I don't think that we were providing financial education, financial literacy to people. We were showing people how to get in debt, bury themselves. And everything was based on numbers. And, it was like, it wasn't a true financial literacy or financial education. And so December 18th, 2006, I followed my gut and I walked out of a high paid vice president job, which I thought it was going to be a Cinderella story, but I lost everything twice in the process, man. So in that process, I discovered cryptocurrency back in late 2019. Into 2020, somebody walked into our facility and said, we own a Warrior Academy here and a conference center and stuff. And somebody walked in and said, have you heard of XRP? And I said,
really?
What is it? And when I dove into XRP, I asked myself the question, like, why aren't banks using this? And lo and behold, that's how the journey started. And I went all in on crypto. And at the same time, I was losing everything at the exact same time. The pandemic shut our businesses down. We own a gym facility, so they shut us down. And I say this with all confidence and humility. I ended up losing everything except my crypto. Moved back in with my parents in 2020, and I went on this crazy journey of taking people on the journey from parents' couch to financial freedom, financial wealth, spiritually and mentally. And here we are now, Worldwide Academy. Over 8,000 people have been coached, and most of 7 companies, and here we are, man.
Wow, that's an incredible story. So, unlike a lot of people, you actually discovered your first asset was XRP.
My first asset in crypto was XRP. Yep.
Wow. Now, once you did that, obviously this is back in maybe what, 1918?
Early 2020 was when I finally got into XRP. I discovered it in 2019, got invested in it early 2020.
Wow. So you were there right before the bull run, I guess, in 2021. And now when you looked at XRP, did it kind of open up your mind to look at other assets? Was it just, okay, I'm gonna look just at this particular asset, or did you actually explore other digital assets as well?
Oh yeah, I dove into the ISO tokens, into Bitcoin, all the different things. But I think for me, what it was is I had to rewire my brain, because coming from the banking sector, Jamie Dimon, I was at another bank. I wasn't at his bank, but he was telling bankers, if you invest in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, you're a criminal. We'll fire you if you do that. It's used for money laundering, all this stuff. And so in the banking sector, it was seen as this taboo thing. So I had to so now here I am, getting exposed to it. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. And plus I was going through a big awakening process myself spiritually.
Yeah.
And I saw the system for what it was in banking. And so I'm like, wait a minute, there's something to this. And so what I learned is that when they tell you to look this way, you should always turn your head this way. And when I started doing that, I was like, wow. So, I'm exposed to most of the ISO tokens, Bitcoin, and we got really heavy into diversification inside and outside of crypto. And so wow. I see the system for what it is. We're in a failing financial system right now. So you have to really protect yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that's very exciting for me, as I kind of told you, I started this journey about 13 months ago in regards to my channel, been in crypto since 17, and, gave my wife and I some financial freedom in 2021. But the thing that is over the last 90 days, it was very inspiring to me. I said, instead of me trying to go out there and tell the story, what if I brought some of the greatest mindsets in the space to the forefront? Because I think a lot of times what people need is direction. And I think that's something you're really good at as far as in what you do. The leadership, the direction, the platforms that you've created to help others succeed. And I think what it does, it just gives validation, because a lot of times people are just trying to figure out, am I in the right asset? And more often than not, what people do, Coach JV, is they're looking for the lottery ticket. They're looking for the scratcher. They're looking for the casino game. They're looking for the next Shikaka coin that's got 15 zeros on it. But at the end of the day, I think what I try to do is bring the validation of saying, okay, there are some things here that could change your life forever. And instead of me trying to say it, what if I brought some of the most brilliant minds to the forefront, and then they say, wait a minute, all these people got something very, same thing in common, which is these utility ISO coins, things like XRP, XLM, XDC, what have you. So that's really what we try to do and try to create in this space. Your thoughts on the current market conditions with everything that's happening with, obviously we had a little bit of a retracement. We expected. Where do you see crypto at right now? And how are you, moving in as far as where things are right now?
Yeah. So one of the things I share with everybody, I'm a macro microeconomic expert. I'm not a crypto expert. And so I have my Good Morning Crypto show, my amazing team, Johnny, Abs, Jackie. So they're my crypto experts. So I'll share with you from a macroeconomic perspective on how I do my investments. So I've been studying history for a long time, spiritual, mental, financial, historical patterns. Ray Dalio is one of my favorite economists. So by studying 500 years back, we're in a wave of energy, a huge wave of energy. So we have four things happening. We have a climate change narrative, social geopolitical narrative, a financial narrative, and a war narrative. We've never had that in our living history all at the same time. We also have America's that it's 120% debt to income ratio. The regional banks are in a liquidity crisis right now. You got inflation that's sticky. We got interest rates that they promised that were going to go down. They're not going down right now. So the Bitcoin halving just happened. So what I'm seeing is I'm accumulating as much as I can, much crypto as I can, because what I believe is going to happen 6 months from now, after the Bitcoin halving, you're going to see Bitcoin go straight up, right? Parabolic. But if they lower interest rates because of the presidential election, if there's a slight interest rate change, that is going to make crypto and assets go through the roof, your house, your stock market. And that's what I tell people, you got to be ready to pull profits. And that's what made us wealthy from 2020 to 2022, is we were pulling profits. So I exit the left side of the risk pyramid, high risk, high volatility, and I pull down, or high gain, high volatility, and I pull it down to the bottom of the risk pyramid. So that's what changed our lives. That's what built financial freedom for me. And then I took that money and built ecosystems, companies. And so I think people, number one, need to be also paying attention to the war narrative. That's really important. The interest rate and inflation narrative, because the middle class right now needs to make about $160,000 a year to be middle class. So this is like a great shot for everybody too, but you have to have a game plan. I always tell people. So for me, I'm paying attention to the market. We use Merlin to exit the markets. And as it goes up, I'm exiting 50% of my portfolio. I'm holding 50% long-term. So.
I love it. No, that's an incredible strategy. And obviously for you to be able to create financial freedom just from 2020 to 2022 just shows that you have an incredible plan in place. And that's what we talk about. People have to, I always say the 5 things is have a strategic plan, do your own research always, no matter what I say or anyone else says, you got to do your research, and then control those emotions. That's one of the biggest things I think that, destroys people in this, in any investing, whether stocks or crypto. And then number 4 is take profit. You got to learn how to take profit. Otherwise you just keep watching the roller coaster go up and down, and that starts, obviously affecting your emotions as well. And then I always center everything around my 5, which is my why, which is, and they say, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough, which is my family, my children, my wife, my purpose. And so, and a lot of those things is exactly what you stand for, which is why it's an honor having you on the show. If you don't mind, you said something, I have another question, but you just said something in regards to, with XRP, Ripple, and the institution, the things that's going on. How do you see, and I know I don't have this down, this question, how do you see some of the things that they're doing right now as far as the timing of the stable coin and, the announcement with Ripple? Some people were confused with that. Some people were trying to say XRP is going to be $1 now. And I'm just like, I just don't think they get it. So how do you feel about the stable coin that's been announced, and the fact that the Stablecoin Act is coming out? We know that predicated off what we see with Tether, They're not going to be following the guidelines. I mean, they've always avoided a full audit. There's some questions whether USDC, you know, so at the end of the day, I just think it's great time. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
Yeah, I'll back all the way up because I'm history, right? So I'll back up to 2012 to the, so 2012 was a pivotal year. A lot of people don't pay attention to. So we had the FOMC that was created, Future Oversight Committee, which Gary Gensler was part of that. You had the Bank Bail-In Committee that was created in 2012. Rosie Rios was told to reduce coin and cash usage in 2012, but she couldn't because Obama turned the rescue plan on the printing machine full blast, right? So for some reason in 2012, they created the Bank Bail-In Committee, right? That was activated in 2023. Guess who sits on the board for the Bank Bail-In Committee now? Jay Clayton, who initiated the case against Ripple on December 20th, 2020. So then Gary Gensler, who was one of the creators of the FOMC, became part of the head of the SEC. So they're shuffling people around. So what I believe happened, and this is just my opinion, is December 12th. I'll never forget it. I was quarantined because of this whole pandemic thing going on because of the business. I wanted to run my business. So I had to quarantine, blah, blah, blah. So I remember, I'll never forget that. I was, I've been talking about XRP, and December 20th, 2020, my text messages start blowing. What XRP? What are you doing? Why? Blah, blah, blah. And I did a little press release on my YouTube. Not that I had a big channel, but I went on there and I said, listen, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog because I knew historically Ripple was a disruptor in the financial industry for the US financial industry and was a saving grace for the rest of the world. And so what happened was they were going to disrupt the system so bad that they initiated the case against her. It doesn't make sense for the case to go for 3 years. Like if you look at the SEC's average cases, it's about 12 to 14 months for egregious cases. This is not an egregious case. XRP is not a security. It doesn't make sense for the case to go past 3 years. It doesn't make sense, right? So Ripple launching the stable coin, I believe it's all part of the process. I believe Ripple, Coinbase, Kraken are going to be they're going to be the big three on the back end of this, just like the auto boom, just like the .com boom. So I get non-emotional about this stuff. XRP is going to be a appreciating asset. It's going to be great. I'm heavily vested in Ripple 2 pre-IPO because I believe Ripple is going to be a bank. I think they're going to be one of the biggest pieces of the financial institution. I really believe that. I truly believe that Ripple is going to change the whole financial industry. So the stable coin it's all planned out, man, in my opinion. They're going to be part of the system. It's going to be, that's what I believe. I believe Ripple is going to be a bank. I believe that's why they probably have an LLC in Wyoming. I believe Kraken's going to be a big part of it. Coinbase can be a part of it. So I get non-emotional. I'm not tribal about Bitcoin. I'm not tribal about XRP.
That's
right. It can't be that way because like everybody's like, well, when people go, oh, XRP, it's the what do they say? Like the banker's coin. I'm like, but I'm like, how you have fiat money? That's a Ponzi scheme. Like, it's like, what are you talking about? The whole system is rigged, the financial system. And so I don't know if that answers the question, but I think the Ripple is a massive disruptor in the industry. And it's going to be no different from the auto boom and the .com boom. It's going to be the big three left. The rest of the 97 top cryptos probably going to be trying to survive regulation because what people may not realize, I came from banking. It is so expensive to keep up with regulation. It's so expensive to get all the legal people in place. And we own multiple companies. I'm going through a compliance thing right now with one of my companies. And, it's $600 an hour for a lawyer to write up documents. Jeez. So a lot of people don't see that part of the business. Ripple's, they're collateralized. They got everything. They're good to go. And so, so I'm a big investor pre-IPO in Ripple as well. So.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's, when I was listening, it just made me feel one of the biggest corrupted moves in crypto will end up being one of the greatest blessings to so many. It's just whether or not they recognize that, because unfortunately in this space, Coach, I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, but the people who don't do enough research, the people who are used to following, and I don't want to use the word sheep, but they typically follow the big dogs, the guys who are just shilling or Bitcoin, this is all, it's a banker's coin. And unfortunately, they don't think for themselves because people, to be quite honest with you, we're used to doing what we're told. We're used to being dictated to. We're used to being, and not as a race, but as all people, slaves to a system that's not set up for us to win, sir. And I think that's one of the issues, and that's one of the biggest problems. Yes, you're right. They attacked Ripple and XRP because they knew exactly what it was for. But I think part of the reason is because, look, man, crypto, in my opinion, and I want to get your opinion on this because there's a lot of questions we have, but to me, it's one of the fairest forms of capitalism I've ever seen. It's not predicated off of being 6'8" or throwing a football like Joe Montana or singing like Prince or doing this or dancing. It's just about understanding the opportunity. And I don't know if there's a greater opportunity in the history of mankind, in the sense of, I believe that crypto, in my personal opinion, again, it's just my opinion, allows the average person to dream again. Coach, so many of us, you hear John Deaton, you hear Sean McBride, you hear stories like myself. I'm sure you got your own, where there's some things in life, whether it's, responsibility, having kids, when, whatever it was that you weren't ready for, that a lot of time it pushes us off our on the road that we thought we would be on. And a lot of times we give up on dreams, we give up on a lot of things, and we just start accepting. And I think that's what causes depression, and because we're not able to live that full life that we were created for. To be prosperous is what we were created for. And I think crypto allows us to dream again. Coach, your thoughts on that, sir?
Oh my God, such a beauty. And I'll take it to a spiritual level. It's like the greatest way. So if Jesus says the devil is the prince of the earth, right? So if you were the prince of the earth, what would you work to do? There's three things you can control: your thoughts, your actions based on those thoughts, and your emotions. So if you were the devil and the prince of the earth, what you would do is you would create me an emotional state of mind, which would control my thoughts and my actions. You would also stop me from creating. You would put me in a system, an indoctrination system, that would make me trade time for money, so much time that I have no time to pay attention, right? So what crypto allowed us to do, it allowed us to think in our creative state of mind, which is right hemisphere of the brain, right? That's intuition, creation brought into 3D form. It got people to focus on something, focus on a future of hope. And I always say hope's not a strategy, but it gave people hope that at least they're looking forward to the bull run instead of just looking forward to going to a job, trading time for money to get a 25-cent raise. So not only did it create hope, but it also got people into their creative state of mind. And that is one of the greatest places to operate, right? That's why in the Bible, Jesus says, cast your nets to the right. He said they found him in the east on the right. Moses went up into the right. I could go on and on and on from a spiritual sense, but we are in an era now where we are heading back into that quantum realm of creation, and it's beautiful. It's exciting. And that's what's disheartening to me to see within the communities when everybody's like, I now just post and ghost. There's too much negativity out there. I post and I ghost, and I stay focused on my family and faith, and I build, right? We're building empires. And I'm like, if people just understood that if we came together in creation, that we could, the whole system would change. They want us fighting against each other. They want Maxis Bitcoin going against XRP. We're literally trying to escape the system and creating the exact same system in crypto. I'm like, come on, guys, like wake up. Like you're literally escaping the system, the left and right. It's like, it's the same shit. It's like, so yes, I agree with you 100%. It has changed my life. It's changed thousands of people's lives because we're able to dream again. There's not like, oh, I got to go to school, right? Like you said, if I'm not a doctor or lawyer, I can't, be wealthy. If I'm not a top athlete, like you were, it's, I'm not going to be wealthy. It gives someone, the normal everyday person, a piece of Wall Street. And now the key to this, though, family, is you have to have a game plan, because this can set your family up. My family's set. Like I can't make this stuff up. I just got done. We just signed our dynasty trust. I just got done signing it. I had witnesses. I went from broke on my parents' couch to a Rockefeller waterfall system dynasty trust. Like, talk about hope, the American dream. That's the American dream.
That's the American dream.
Broke on my parents' couch at 43 years old in 2020. And I said, F this. I drew a line in the sand so deep. I was like, I am the generational shifter. I got addicted to financial literacy, understanding how wealth moves through the system. And it's not that difficult. It's like, once you understand how money moves through the system, now we have this polarizing opportunity of price appreciation that is completely unnatural. I made more money from 2020 to 2022 in crypto than I would have made my whole life as an executive. Crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I said too, it was one of the greatest. Crypto has been the greatest opportunity and blessing to our family. Freedom is what it's all about. And when you get that freedom, everything else starts falling in place, like purpose and everything else, instead of chasing the dollar. And when you can get out of that rut, man, it is something special. And I love your story because it really, everyone that I bring on has a different story. Your story is about hope and faith and believing and succeeding. And I think that's what people need to understand. There's so many opportunities, like a 6'8", Like a CoachJV, not because of our height or your mindset. It's the opportunity. You're taking it to another level. I'm taking it to another level. But man, look, if you're used to being complacent, if you're used to doing just enough, well, then do just enough in a space to put your family in a different position.
Yes.
There's levels to where what you can accomplish. That's totally up to you. Whether you're extremely successful or you're just able to get out of the situation that you're in and dream again, whatever that is. Crypto, in my opinion, definitely gives you the opportunity to do that. One of the things that I was thinking here is, and I want to talk about this because, again, I got to get to this next question, but it's sad to me sometimes, Coach, that, the financial system, this country for what it is, and you look around and you look at countries like El Salvador or what they're trying to do in Argentina, and, countries that seem to love their people.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because we pay our taxes, we love our country.
We do.
But in many moments, it doesn't seem like our country loves us back. And instead of doing things, just doing things, Coach, that can make this journey so phenomenal to really make us one of the most prosperous and winning countries on the planet. Instead, they cause chaos and confusion. And instead of uplifting their people, they got us fighting amongst, even when it's something like this, Bitcoin, Chicago coin, and we're talking, and it's like, instead of just helping us be focused so we can win, they do that so they can continuously these behind the scene agendas and narratives to keep their pockets inflated while keeping us confused. And it's just so sad. Your thoughts on that, Coach?
Yeah, beautiful, man. And I always go back to my spiritual sense with Jesus Christ. I love Christ Jesus and Jesus Christ. Whatever you believe, I believe you. But what I'll say is this is nothing new under the sun. This is a cyclic pattern that happens in humanity over and over again. And so the story that I always use is when they ran up to Jesus trying to mock him, and they said, "Who do we pay our taxes to?" And he grabs the coin out of their hand. I'm paraphrasing. He looks at the coin. He says, "Whose face is on this coin?" And they said, "Caesar." He says, "Give to Caesar what is his. Give to God what is his, and give to me what is mine." And what that means to me is like, hey, I live in America. I built companies in America. I'm proud to be an American. I pay a shitload of taxes in America. If that's what it is, I'm just going to make more money. I'm going to create more opportunity. And I think the biggest thing about this is, guys, that's not going to change. The part it's going to cycle. Humanity cycles into these moments in time where it's left versus right. It's Bitcoin versus XRP. And everybody thinks they're right. You're right. Because here's what I say about this to everybody. You're right. Because all possibilities exist. It's all your belief. I believe that we're building $1 billion ecosystem. Therefore, we will.
That's right.
I believe that we were going to build a multi-million-dollar ecosystem, and we did. I was saying that broke on my parents' couch, doing videos on TikTok, embarrassing myself supposedly to the public, but I did it. And all I say to people is, come with me. All possibilities exist. It doesn't matter what's happening in the physical. It matters what's happening in the mental.
That's right.
So what's happening within America, it's wild, man. I'm not waiting for a president to come back and save me. I'm not. It's my actions, my behaviors, my discipline, my consistency. People are like, you still live on your, no, I don't live on my parents' couch anymore. I don't. I just signed a Rockefeller Dynasty Trust. Like my life is completely different. And the reason why I bring my story up honestly and open, because it's possible for every single human being.
That's right.
All I did was get really disciplined with my thoughts, my actions, my behaviors, faith, family, and I'm focused. And one thing I always tell, anybody I coach, you have to have principles, because if you don't believe in something, you're going to fall for everything.
That's right. Yeah, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And one thing about the couch story is there's only a couple steps lower than a couch. That's and I'd just be quite honest with you. We've all had those situations, and I love you sharing that because it's a story of hope. But if you want things to change, you got to change, and if you want things to get better, you've got to get better. And that's exactly what you did. Is you got better. It's CoachJV, but just got better. And so, no, I love the story. So when you talk about hope, and you're talking about fighting against the odds, and you're talking about being down. I come from welfare. I come from the streets. I come from Brooklyn. I come from projects. It makes me think of someone that we both know. His name is John Deaton.
I love him.
And I want you to speak a little bit about that incredible person, his journey. He always seems to show up to the fight. He's the people's champion, in my opinion. Talk about who he is and what this journey that he's embarked on for running for Senate. What does it mean for you personally and for this space in this entirety?
Well, first of all, I love his story. I mean, I love his book is phenomenal. If you haven't read his book, I've met him a couple times, got to be graced with his presence. When I saw him running for Senate, I was like, let's go, man. I mean, he's the people's champ, man. We need someone like him, because we need people who are grassroots, who understand what we're struggling with, what we're doing. It was so remarkable to see. I remember when he came out, and when I got introduced to him is when he went after we suing the SEC, right? And it was like a couple thousand people signed up, then like 10,000 people, and then like 75,000 people signed up. And
I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too. And that's when I realized, I'm like, this is going to be that's when I realized this is going to be historical, and he is going to be written in history. I
Yes,
promise
sir.
you. As somebody, I believe he will beat Elizabeth Warren, and you know, the problem with what she's up against is the people have his back, and people are voting for him. There's huge, you know, we have a $2.2 million community that's backing him. I mean, it's like there's massive communities backing him all over the world too. So, and you know, he's bold, man, and I love people who are willing to stand up for what they believe in. He is going to be a game changer. And so, you know, if you guys don't know who John Dean is, if you haven't, vote for him for Senate. We're all about it in our community, man.
Yeah. No, I definitely love what he stands for, and you know, it's going to be a hell of a fight. But you know, it's one of those things that with everyone behind him, I think he can win. And I think the message of what he stands for is phenomenal. And I love his book because I don't know if you ever saw the movie 8 Mile with Eminem.
Yes.
But it's almost like he put everything out there. So okay, take your shot. What can you say? I gave it all to you. So it's just it's
I
amazing.
do want to talk about that because that's why I love him. So for example, like I was a drug addict 17 years ago, committed suicide. I did a lot of so everything I've ever done that's negative has been put, because I knew where I was heading with the social part of it. So I put it out there, man. It's like, take your shots at me. There's, you know, a lot of haters that put their stuff. The one dude built a website about me. I'm like, you're right. Already on the internet. And so it's like, it is the 8 Mile strategy. It's like, that's how you build peace. It's like, just be authentic. Like I was just telling you, dude, I have no shoes on right now. I'm in pajama pants. I'm just me, dude. What you see is what you get.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you. I'm in sweats. I got the shoes off. You know, I would put my foot up, but I don't want to embarrass myself. But no, it's you know, it's just like I said, it's all about living a life unlimited, and we found the vehicle to do that. And I think what drives us, and what I love about you as well, is it you know, the byproduct of what we do is the financial aspect. That's a byproduct of what we do. But the first part of what we do is helping people. It's something that I saw at a very young age when you know, I was young, and my mom would take care of I don't know if you could say this today, but those who were like mentally challenged, you know. And then my in high school, when I was playing ball, my summer jobs were at the schools that she taught at for mentally handicapped. You know, we use the R word. Not politically correct today, but and that just taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about working some days, and you see these kids and then they're gone in a month or two, and that just really made me appreciate life. And so I'm so blessed to have an angel of a mother while she was here, and she lost that battle to depression and suicide and stuff like that. But yeah, just definitely, you know, a lot of times you talk about the couch, you talk about the thing, you know, all those things are part of our story, Coach. And even though I regret some of those things, and I wish I could change some of those things, I realized that it was a part of my story, and I had to go through those things in order to be who I am. You know, and I think that's how you have to look at anything that you go through. Instead of sitting there and letting that define who you are, you use that as motivation to help you on the journey of going out there, whatever that mission or goal is. And for me, it's that's why this channel is so important, not to discredit a 20-year-old guy who doesn't know what he's talking about, or someone who's talking about Chicago coin or XRP is going to be 10,000 next month. It wasn't none of that. It's just speaking my truth and to continuously uplift people, which is what I've been taught my whole life. And so, you know, that's what I see in you, my friend. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show. Now, I want to go into, you know, you come from a banking industry. You have a brilliant mindset. You start these big time corporations, and the thing that I want people to ask themselves, why is CoachJV so bullish on you know, this specific asset? And the reason that I talk about, and I don't want to get too much in this because we're not Maxie's coach, but I think one of the things is fair for me to assume about you is you don't tolerate bullying. You don't like bullying. You don't like injustice. You don't like the whole. I always talk about the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, how she had hired a mugger to hit her in the ankle so she could. That's what I felt that analogy with Ripple and XRP and Ethereum and the SEC. They hit Ripple in the ankle or XRP in the ankle, and so. For me, the reason that I talk so much about it, because it's the biggest story on the planet. You name one company that has been attacked, that has been, wrongfully gone after. Like you said, 3 years, ridiculous. All these, you know, a couple $100 million. Yet they continue to do the right thing. They continue to show integrity. They continue to grow when everybody else was running for the hills after 2021, and CEOs are taking off, and they were downsizing, and banks were going out of business. Ripple kept thriving and hiring some of the most brilliant minds and acquiring companies. So I say all that to say this, Coach. Is Ripple a solid company in your opinion, sir?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I call myself a Warren Buffett style investor in crypto, and I'll explain that. So a Warren Buffett style investor, the book, I thought it was in my other office. There's a book called Intelligent Investor. So Warren Buffett read the book, I think at 12 years old, he read the book Intelligent Investor at 12 years old. And basically he stopped investing in stocks and he started investing in companies. And so I took that same model. And so if you really look at the landscape and you just take out the emotion or the maxi or whatever people want to do, and you look at the best run company in the cryptocurrency space, it's Ripple. That's right. Hands down. Their CEO, the CFO, their legal team, their board of directors. So if I look at it from just a raw investment perspective, I'm talking Ripple specifically, the company. So I have quite a bit pre-IPO, because I'm like, if I was going to bet on a horse, I would bet on that one. Then you go to XRP, the actual currency. I already believed in it before the case was dropped, just because my knowledge in banking and understand the liquidity crisis that we're in. The banking system has to switch, guys. We're in an analog system. It can't go into the future the way it is. So when I saw that XRP is one of the mini solves that we need for the new financial system. So XRP as a token, it's going to be one of the biggest assets in the world, in my opinion. Ripple, the company that obviously created XRP, you look at Brad Garlinghouse. I've gotten to meet him at an event before. The guy is a sharp human being, right? David Schwartz is one of the smartest human beings I've ever been in. At an event, I met him. I got to be in his presence. The guy is Doogie Howser smart. Remember that show? He is so smart. And their legal team is sharp, and they are on point. And to sit there and stand tall the last 3 years and just take a beating from the SEC, but just keep coming back and keep coming back. So if you're sitting there and you're in a horse race and you're betting on a horse, which horse would you bet on? The one that you can measure their balance sheet, you can look at their capital measurements, you can look at their board of directors and things like that. So when I invest, this is my family's hard-earned money. I'm not going to just, like you said, throw stuff at the Chicago coin and hope. Hope is not a strategy, right? I want to know that I know that I know. And I feel that Ripple will be one of the largest financial organizations in human history. So I believe in the token XRP. I believe in the company Ripple. I really, really do. And I believe that they're going to be here for the long term. I think that I know that they're going to change the landscape of how finances operate within the American system and worldwide.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. One of the things that I always say is I remember when I used to speak, I told you I used to speak on some of the biggest stages, been in Success, Business Journal, and several other things for what I've done, and was really good at just one thing. And that was, I love what you said when you first came on. You said, I'm not the guy who's going to tell you about this. I'm just going to tell you about what I know. And the other guys can do this on Good Morning Crypto. I was that way too. When I used to get on stage, I was like, I'm not going to be the guy with the Rolex who had a silver spoon in his mouth, who's sitting there talking about his $1 million a month or 500,000. I'm not going to be that guy. But what I'm going to be is the guy who let people know that I care. I always feel like people want to know that you care more than they want to know what you know. Yeah. And when you can do that, that's how you build strong relationships. I always say the greatest question you can ask anyone, coach, which I got really good at, and I see women, I took it from a female's perspective, because you ever see a woman when they get with their girlfriends, they'll talk for hours, and we're like, what are you guys talking about? How do you guys, because they got really good. That, I don't know if you ever read the book Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus, and they talk about guys are very logical, analytical, women are very emotional. But if you want to be a great man, learn how to be both. If you want to be a great woman, learn how to be both. And at the end of the day, I think the most powerful question that I learned that a woman asks is, how are you? And when you say how are you, and just stop and shut up and don't let whatever you're trying to pitch or sell be the agenda, right? So just listen. If you listen, a person will tell you everything you need to know, whether it's the family members is financially, they're struggling, whatever it is, just listen and just take mental notes of whatever it is that you can help them. Because if you can solve a problem, if you can offer a solution to whatever that issue is, you'll build a connection, a lifetime connection. I think that's what we mess up, is a lot of times we talk with an agenda instead of talking to connect. And when you can do that, brothers, it's an amazing thing. And that's what I used to have guys say, man, James is one of the best at connecting and building relationships. And my wife, who, I don't know if she's in the stream right now or not, but she's here, she would go to some of these events and go, we have groups of people stand around and be crying and I'm not saying that to try to impress, but just try to impress upon you. When you can tap into a person's heart and let them know that, yes, you can, no matter what you have done. And that's what you are. You're an epitome of, yes, you can. John Deaton's an epitome of, yes, you can. I'm an epitome of, yes, you can. And that's what, so I say all that to say this: I'll follow someone who's flawed, who's been tested, over a guy who just speaks on, on the mountaintop about what he read in the book, because I think that's special. I think that's the person that can really connect and tell a person, how do you tell me if I can win against the odds if you never won against the odds? And so what I love about the Ripple story, sir, is that they've been stress tested.
Yes.
And every facet of the meaning stress tested. And they never ran. They never were, Brad Garlinghouse never got out of character. You don't see him walking around with Gucci bags in a Lambo. And, I mean, all these things that we see with some of these other guys, and I'm not going to go there. But the bottom line is that I feel good knowing that I'm following a company with integrity, that's continuously doing the right thing to continuously win because of who they are, not because of what they're trying to prove that they are. And again, the show is predicated off of showing so many people like yourself that get that same vision as far as what we're doing and following. So what I like to do at this point is go into XRP, and I think you might have touched this a little bit. And I know we're not financial advisors, my friend, but where do you see it in the short term? Meaning that right now, the retail always looks at market cap. I think that's the wrong mindset. If you understand what's created for it, flipping a switch to me means institutional adoption. I think I'm excited about what I can see, sir, but I'm also excited about what I can't see. Right? Yeah. It's those things that we can't see. But what do you see it in the short term as we move and dip with Bitcoin and other assets? And what do you see it in the future when we detach ourselves, in my opinion, from the rest of the space?
Yeah. So I'll just share with you a wise counsel from my crypto expert team. I have a team of experts. They Fibonacci, they do all that stuff. We do based on what we think might happen, things like that. So I think, fair enough, it's going to go to the all-time high of $3.70. You're talking about price prediction, right? So not predicting, but I think it go fair anywhere from $10 to $15. That's where my exit targets are set to. Yes, sir. People are out there saying it's going to go to $5.89. I wouldn't bank on that type of stuff. And I think there's just so much other stuff that has to happen in order for that to come into fruition, right? So we also don't have regulation in place. We have a failing banking system. We have all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm putting in my exit plan of my 50% target. I'm exiting 50% of my portfolio in this bull run, just like I did in 2020 to 2022. Yes, one of my highest price targets is $15. And so if it doesn't hit there, I just hold. There's nothing in the long term. Who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen with it? To be honest with you, I'm a long-term holder. What I mean by that is I only focus on if it goes up, I sell. If it goes down, I buy more. I do the opposite of the public. When people are panicking, that's what made me wealthy. When people panic, I buy. When people are excited, I sell. And then what I do is I actually insure my money and I buy more cash generating assets. And that's what I really try to get. I repeat the same things on my video with risk of people unfollowing me, because I'm like, it's unrealistic to make this much money in a short amount of time. So knowing that, you got to make your money make money. So if you can take this money and secure it in something, or in businesses or equity, or, if you can get into pre-IPOs, which is private equity, all these different things, we have to start to, you brought that up too, like people, you don't want to buy the Lambo and the house and all that stuff. You can buy those things, which are things that I love, stuff like that, but I will buy them with assets. That's right. Never buy a liability unless it's bought with an asset or with a company. That's right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think one of the things that I talked about, I did a video on is I think most people are so fixated on, and again, we've seen evaluations out there from VTHO Capital with the 25 to 35,000, maybe, in the future. We see Ripple said for it to move money the way it's supposed to, $10,000, it's coming from.
It can't be cheap. Yeah,
it can't be cheap. Yes, sir. And I think most people are going to miss what I said is the one. So I want to show you something and get your opinion on this. Sure. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I'm going to go and play it. Something I did with my buddy Edo Farina. I want you to check this out. Cool. $10 XRP will change most people's lives. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I also agree it's going to probably be one of the biggest regrets that people made. Because again, if Valal Capital, who said a possibility of a $25,000 to $35,000 XRP by 2030, let's say they're 10% right. That's $2,500 to $3,500. Let's say they're 1% right. That's $250 to $350. Okay, screw that. Forget that. Screw that, but forget that analogy. Let's go with Ripple itself. XRP, in order to work the way it has to globally, has to be at least $10,000. Okay, let's say they're 10% right. That's $1,000. Okay, let's say they're 1% right. That's $100. So my whole thing is, I think a lot of people are going to miss the 1% potential at $5 or $10. maybe $20. I think that's where people just have to have a solid plan, because I mean, $10 million isn't what it used to be back in the day. And again, that's not financial advice. I'm just saying people have to be smart. Everyone's going to have different levels. A $10 XRP changes a lot of people's lives. $100,000 changes a lot. So I'm not trying to dismiss that. All I'm saying is you should have levels of where you're cashing out. You have strategic levels of where you're cashing out, and I wouldn't go all out at a certain dollar. Again, that's not advice. But man, I don't know what's greater, to get $10 or to live with a life full of regretment if it potentially hits 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or anything else that they're saying. It'd be crazy. All of us here, the stocks of Pepto-Bismol are going to go up because you're going to have a lot of sick people that missed the boat.
Love it. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why I hold 50. Like, I think Johnny Crypto has a 70-30 plan. I have a 50-50 plan. Now, the reason why I have a 50-50 plan is because I have a big ecosystem set up outside of crypto. So with whether it's insurance, we're going into real estate, we have businesses. And so I worked really hard outside of crypto to make sure that I was set just in case, because I didn't like people like crypto's my retirement, guys. Crypto, you gotta have a game plan outside of crypto. That's right. That's how you build wealth. So I agree with you 100%. I'm holding 50% forever. And then, when that settles down, you can borrow against those assets. Tax free to buy more assets. And so, like, XRP is a legacy coin. We have a lot of XRP. We have a lot. Right. And it's just something that I'll hold for the rest of my life. Man, I just got done signing our Dynasty Trust. Like, that is in my, like, it's just such a I don't know, that should give people hope. Like, being broke on my parents' couch to understanding, like, I believe we'll be $1 billion ecosystem, man. And I think crypto can play a part in that.
Yeah, I love it. And here's one thing I want to bring up that's not in our questions, Coach. People need to stop comparing themselves to other people.
Oh my God.
You've got to get in where you fit in. And I think a lot of times when we destroy ourselves is, it's like walking on a car lot with a Toyota Corolla budget, but you're looking at the Bentley and the Mercedes. You got to stop doing that. You got to get in where you fit in. And everyone's different. There's different levels. Like, I talked to you a little bit backstage. The beginning of my life was just chasing a dollar because I was poor. I was like, why am I poor? Questioning everything. And I made it, and I had businesses, and me and my wife had car lots and cell phone stores in California. We owned semi-pro basketball teams. We owned record labels. We did all that crap. I spent a lot of time on stage. And for me, I'm in a different position than some people. Like, even like with yourself, you're looking at building these businesses and these multi, and I'm going to be hopefully a part of some of those things. But in the same aspect, where I'm at in my life, I believe I'm a little older than you are. Raise our 6 kids. We've got kids that have their better house or pilots or NFL players. Now, we got all these things that are going on. But for me, I'm not looking to start this massive corporation. I did all that stuff. So for me, crypto for me is enjoying the rest of my life and the moments and the kids and the grandkids and real estate and all the other things that some of the things that you're talking about. But for me, I spent so much of my life in front of, on the biggest stages around the world, in front of businesses, that I gave up so much. And the thing that I gave up, it reminds me of Steve Jobs when he was at the last part of his life. He put this thing out on Facebook that I shared. It really made me think. He says, I'm sitting in this hotel room. So I'm sitting in this hospital and I see this machine. Red means I'm in trouble. Green means I'm okay. He goes, this is what my life has come down to. And to kind of narrate a little bit, it's not word for word, but basically said, I missed everything that was important: family, friends, moments. And yet everyone looks at me like I'm this big thing. He goes, but man, I regret almost a lot of the things that I've done, not business wise, but just appreciating the moments. And so I remember when I was traveling and I would see these guys that were older than me at the time. They, these guys would have strokes and heart attacks while on the road. And I would ask them about their relationship with their wives. They weren't that great. A relationship with their kids. They weren't that great because they sacrificed everything to stay in that moment. And so for me, crypto or this opportunity is freedom. And it's all obviously, like you said, it's the opportunity to do other things outside of crypto, real estate, whatever, because I think people should be diversified and do other things like you said. But the thing that I want you to touch on, Coach, is that, and everyone has to create their own story. Everyone has to embrace this for whatever it means to them, right? Stop comparing yourself. What would you say to that, Coach?
I love that, man. Yeah, stop comparing. I'll back up to what you're saying, because when I was building my companies, I was following that grind culture, 19 hours a day. You got to grind. You got to get up at 3:30. I know I get up really early because I get up early. It has nothing to do. And what I realize is that all those people selling that dream do not understand how money operates. Number one, they don't know how to scale. They don't know what freedom truly is. So first of all, you have to develop principles. For me and everybody, Johnny Crypto, Abs, they all know this. So my whole team knows this. So my principles for business are integrity, honesty, and uncompromising belief in God. So if I can't talk about God or Jesus, I want nothing to do with it.
That's right.
For my family, it's peace, freedom, and family structure. So I developed an ecosystem I'm so grateful to crypto, because of our businesses. I developed an ecosystem where I'm off at 2:00 every day to pick up my son. He's 8 years old, and my daughter lives with me, who's turning 20. So I have dinner with my kids every single night. Freedom to me is so important. And people, if you understand that all possibilities exist. All possibilities exist. I'm off at 2 every single day. We're building our third 7-figure ecosystem. It's possible, guys.
That's
We
right.
have to get out of this whole culture of like, you gotta grind. Yes, you have to be effective, but you also have to be very smart. And if you understand how money works with this big boom in crypto, you could build true freedom. And
That's right.
freedom is freedom of time, freedom of choice, and freedom of speech, and freedom to be with your family. That's the pandemic, is us not being with our kids.
That's right.
And so for me and my family, and I'm 48 years old, I have an 8-year-old son. I started over pretty late. My daughter's 20. Like, I'm able to be there with my kids. I'm able to travel with my kids. I have a completely free, all my companies I run, we have a CFO and CEO and all that stuff, or I'm the CEO, but we have CFO and CEO. But my point behind this is don't make money a trap. Right. You want to use money to create freedom, and that there's so many ways you can do that. Like, please read the book Intelligent Investor and Richest Man in Babylon and Cash Flow Quadrant, and study those books until you understand. My daughter knows the Cash Flow Quadrant. She knows the Richest Man in Babylon, and she understands how money operates through the system. She's 20 years old. She's turning 20 next week. Oh shit. She's already got, so she, instead of going to college, I want to tell the story really quickly. So she graduated college, and everybody's like, where are you going to college? She took all her graduation money and put it into crypto, man. So now she's 19 years old. She's going into the bull run, right? She's got more invested than most adults have in crypto that I've met. She also has her insurance policy set up. She'll retire with already $1.6 million at 62 years old. She's set. So once this bull run hits, we're going to max fund her insurance policies. When she buys a house, she's going to buy a 4-plex. She'll live. So I'm setting my daughter up. Like, everybody tells their kids to go to school, get a job, get a 401k, get a home, get all this debt, and then spend the rest of your life trying to make money to pay off that debt. I'm teaching my kids to invest in assets, so at the back end of their life, they can have as much fun as they want living off their assets. So we have to, like, as we all get rich in crypto, what's more important is who you become in that process.
That's right.
Like, I'm encouraging people understand financial literacy, because I saw a ton of people from 2020 to 2022 become very rich, and they were super broke during the bear market.
That's right.
And you saw it with crypto influencers too. You saw them get exposed, man. They were super. They had no ecosystem outside of crypto. They're buying Lambos now. Do I have nice cars? Yes, I do. I don't show my lifestyle, but every one of the car I drive is paid for by an asset or one of our liabilities, a company, or it's a liability for a company.
I love it, guys. You guys are getting gems, amazing, life-changing gems. Hopefully you guys are taking notes. Coach JV, we appreciate you. I want you guys to do me a huge favor before we continue on. I want you to go over to Coach JV's X page. It is at CoachJV _. You guys got to make sure you get over there and follow Coach JV. And if you hit that link that's right there on his screen, you'll also be able to see Coach JV's where's that hit link tree. You can see everything that he has. Join the VTHO Warrior Academy, Warrior Ascension Accountability Program, Freedom Conference 2024. Now that's what is that, if you don't mind? What is Freedom Conference, sir?
Yeah, thank you. That's this week. Yeah. So we teach financial freedom, financial literacy. We bring all the best minds together in investing and generational wealth building in one. So we have our own conference center here. So we do it every single year here in Mesa, Arizona. And so we have the best of minds, and it's basically from the inside out, spiritual, all the way to generational wealth building.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You can also set up an appointment with Coach JV's insurance team. They got the Warrior's Guide to Financial Freedom, 100% free. That's amazing. Open house event to join our wealth protection team Friday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That you got something here in Spanish here. I'm not going to act like I can read. I got a D in Spanish in high school. You've got a private coaching with CoachJV, limited 5 spots. So if you want to be mentored and coach, we're going to be talking tomorrow with Johnny Crypto live, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about Merlin and crypto as well. So you got Merlin, the crypto tracker. America, be warned, crypto will be your financial system. X-Royalty, battle against our own consciousness. We have get your free divine masculine workbook, free warrior crypto Discord, private Facebook community, motivational health. You get it all, guys. Live podcast, coach. You get it all, guys. So make sure you guys go over and support my brother, the man, the myth, the legend, who's out there trying to help people create their own dreams and amazing lifestyles. Also, go over to our Crypto4Life page, guys. Don't know what happened here. Okay, let's see what happens.
There's Good Morning Crypto. They're live right now.
Check it. Oh yeah, they're live right. That's right. And also, guys, our live. This is our. You'll see Coach JV right here with us. We got some incredible interviews, guys. Make sure you go over to our Crypto4Life page, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you guys don't miss any of the incredible information that we're sharing each and every day. Now, what I want to talk about, Coach, is your journey has brought you to a lot of amazing places. And one of those places and opportunities is what I see with my friend Chris and Mayo over at Fruition Productions. I want you to talk about them. They become real good friends of mine. We talk at least once a week and got some things that we're talking about behind the scenes as well. What do you think the things that they're doing right now with Fruition Productions, a documentary, XRP Unleash? You also have the ETHGate, a lot of things that they're bringing to the forefront with that. What does that mean, sir? And in addition to what does it mean, I want you also to talk about what does it mean for them to do this? Because like you, like myself, they've gone out and created a phenomenal lifestyle in crypto. They were able to take meme coins and become multimillionaires. Instead of sitting in the shadow, just singing kumbaya, they decided to do something very risky that they're getting, some positive feedback, but also some haters in the meanwhile of what they're doing. I want you to talk about that journey, sir, and also what does this documentary mean to the entire space?
Oh, it's historical. I said it from the beginning when I met with them and started filming. I was like, this is a historical. And one of the biggest things that if the haters only took time to understand what they've completely funded this themselves.
Yep.
100% self-funded from their own money.
Yep.
And they have been so fair and equitable with the people they've been approaching. And people are like, what about this? It's all going to be in it. Like it's so fun to see like the polarizing hate and the love. And I'll tell you what, it is going to be a historical documentary. The way that they put this thing together tells an eloquent story of from the grassroots, which is like the first series, which we're all in. It's like that creation of the public waking up to the John Deatons to it's a historic. I'm telling you, this documentary will be watched in future schools. I'm telling you, because it's a switch in the financial system. The way they put it together, telling the story, starting out with, hey, inflation, interest rates, the economy is struggling. It's a historical documentary, and they are. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand is they did this all themselves.
Yeah.
A passion to help people understand what this transition in the financial system is. I guarantee it'll be one of the top documentaries in the world. Guaranteed.
Yeah. It's brilliant because they did it at a time, someone was saying, there's a lot of things they could have done, but they did it at a time in to me, the greatest story. Period. This is the greatest story. And that video is going to be so relevant as they try to pitch it out to Netflix. And it's going to be like a 6-part docuseries. I just think it's going to be phenomenal. Like you said, I think it's going to have a huge impact because when you look at, people, sometimes we look at, today, we look at yesterday, but I think when you look at yesterday and you look at today, and there's going to be a moment when we look back at the time that we're spending right now and this opportunity where, Bitcoin's under 100 grand, XRP's under $1, and you're going to look back and go, my God, it's going to be just such an amazing part of history. And I think that documentary is going to be a part of that as well. So I definitely agree with you on that. I want to talk about some stuff moving on to the SEC now, if you don't mind, sir. And that is we've seen them, go from something at one point was revered. It's funny because when Gary Gensler left MIT and was talking about Algorand and Ripple and all these different things in a positive light, there was some hope that, he would bring some positivity to the crypto ecosystem when he got to the SEC. Instead, he became the 2020, since he'd been in Pinocchio. full of lies, full of deceit. He has someone up there pulling the strings like a puppet master or whatever. It's really been embarrassing. I believe he's embarrassed us as Americans. I believe, or the SEC has stifled the innovation here in the United States, where people have to get outside the country. I mean, it's just sad. And then I think back when he got on all these different platforms, like, these congressional hearings, all these different news stations that were trying to interview him, asking him a question: why did ETH get a free pass? Is ETH a security? And he just had nothing to say, just displayed utmost ignorance in some of the way he approached some of those answers. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, now all of a sudden ETH is a security, and he's going after Uniswap. He's going after, and I feel like they're playing a very corrupted game of chess. So I want to talk about that. There's some other questions, but I want to talk about that. Why now, sir? Why go after Ethereum now? And the only thing I can say before I finish that question is, does this have something to do with a false sense of justice for the people that you've wronged for so long? Did you let the monster get so big that like even Brad Garlinghouse says, he goes, I don't know if they're going to be able to show that it's secure. I don't know. He goes, but in the same aspect, you almost wonder if this is an agenda with a false sense of justice to try to get a Ethereum ETF approved or something. I don't know, sir. What is your thoughts on that?
Oh, 100%, man. The whole thing is like, you think about everybody go to ChatGPT, type in Gary Gensler, board of directors, see how many boards he's on. Type in Jay Clayton, board of directors. Guys, they're all vying for their next position. Jay Clayton, an initiated case against Ripple. I think it was a month earlier. If I get the company wrong, I think it was One River or New River Capital just invest to increase their position in Bitcoin and Ethereum. He went to go be on their consult them, right? So right when he leaves 2 days later to consult for a cryptocurrency firm when he initiated a case against Ripple around XRP being a security. And then you got Gary Gensler, who was the head MIT professor, who's also the creator of the FOMC in 2012 Future Oversight Committee to regulate non-bank financial institutions, right? And now, they're now this. It's just a dog and pony show, man. That Gary Gensler's vying for his next position, his next job. They don't give a shit about the American people. They don't care about protecting us investors. And what frustrates me about that, and why we created our company is, and we do 506Bs. We do it legally through the SEC to try to get non-accredited investors into things like Ripple, because it's like, it's not about protecting us. It's not about helping us. It's about them getting their next position and them trying to fix a financial system, or not trying to fix it, trying to set themselves up for the next pole position in the financial system. So that's all a dog and pony show, man. I think they are putting that out there to say, look, we're not going after XRP. We're both, or we're going after ETH too. And it's like, the public has lost faith, man. I mean, the public has lost faith in it. We're in this 2024 is historical for America.
Yeah.
I mean, if people don't realize that, like, you gotta, if you're looking this way, you gotta try to pull your head this way and like ask yourself, just keep asking yourself why, and keep getting down to origin. You'll figure out what the origin is. It's the same shit every single time, right? Where there's money, where there's greed, right? You got left, you got right, you got up, you got down, and it's like Jesus said, take the middle ground. Yeah. I'm taking the middle ground. I'm following my gut, getting my shit together, fasting, faith, family, and then you can feel what the right decisions are. It's like,
right.
Ripple feels good to me. It feels good to me. Bitcoin right now feels good to me. I'm buying a lot of Bitcoin. And my narrative was a little bit different, to be honest with you, because I had this whole weird conspiracy theory thing. I'm like, what is the conspiracy? Who knows, man? Who knows who's being played? But I think the biggest thing about this, like, I'm sorry to answer the question. It's just a big and dog and pony show, man. Yeah. I don't think ETH will be deemed a security. I think it's play itself out. You're going to see the biggest transition in your financial system by 2030. I guarantee you by 2030, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase are going to be like, hey, come custody your crypto with us. And the narrative is going to be, this is where people need to be careful, is problem, reaction, solution. Whoever creates a problem creates a reaction in the people, is the same person that comes up with a solution. So what'll happen is we're going to have this huge bull run, and then they're going to destroy crypto with regulation. People are going to lose a ton of money. See, it's not safe. And then the banks are going to be like, come on in, it's safe over here. And then the public's going to go custody their crypto at the bank, centralizing it, bringing it back into the system.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things of when they think about people winning in a space, they don't care. It's like some will, most won't. Who cares next? It's that's really how you feel. It's not about people winning. It's not about giving people hope. It's about how they could take advantage of.
And it'd be interesting if they really cared about people, they'd become much wealthier, man.
Yeah.
If they really gave a shit about people, dude, they would become, they're so stuck in the left hemisphere of the brain in this old dogma. Like, it's like they're just stuck, man. And we're
Yeah.
not going to change them. You're not going to change them. You can
Yeah.
only change yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was looking for something that I saw. I'm gonna see if I could find it here. It was, I believe it was something that Molly Elmore had posted. It was, I looked at it, I said, wow, she was spot on with this. I think it's right. Is it right here? Let's see here. Yeah. And let me see if I can share it. I'll read this real quick. She shared this, I believe it was yesterday. It says this is talking about the 95 billion for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. And she goes back and she says, I understand the frustration, but the money isn't actually going to those countries.
Nope.
The organized crime syndicate is stealing it. It's just easier to hide the money trail if it appears it's going overseas. If I'm wrong, show me the receipts, not the budget. And then it says, let me open up. It says, if I'm wrong, let's see. Show me the receipts, not the budget, the receipts. And so it's just a way for them to say what they're funding, but to hide the money and stuff their pockets. Do you agree with that narrative, sir?
Oh my God. Yeah. So it's like war is all about financial gain. It's like I've been telling people we're going to World War III. There's no other place to go when the way the pattern works. If you study Ray Dalio's Changing World Order, if you look at the pattern, we're in number 13 all the way through 18, which is Civil War and Revolution. We have large debts. We have weak leadership. Like, we're there, guys. This is it. World War III is here. And unfortunately, when Russia invaded Ukraine, immediately Biden took them off the SWIFT system. Or tried to take them off. So now you got this thing, and you guys got to remember, Trump said 7 years ago, they were talking about crypto. He said, we're going to an even playing field. What I believe is going to happen is the American dollar is going to start to lose its dom. Now, it's lost since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created, which is control money supply and job markets. It's collapsed 99%.
Yeah.
When they were supposed to control the money supply and job markets, the US dollar's lost 99% of its value. Like, where are we going from here, family? Like, where are we going? We're going to cryptocurrency. We're going to a new even playing field. So what I believe is going to happen, G20, you're going to have BRICS. It's going to be regulated through a bag of currencies versus America being the dominant currency.
Right. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, you're spot on with that. Let's talk about this ridiculous dollar amount of $2 billion. In one aspect, somebody could say, well, at least they gave a number and now negotiation can start. What do you think the thought process is, or what do you feel about that $2 billion that ridiculous asking price by the SEC from reporting?
Yeah. Man, when I saw that, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, is this, it's almost like, I don't get that part. I don't even get, I can't even get into their minds at that point. I don't even know, like, I don't know, man. Honestly, it was when I saw that, it was just like, I'm just ignoring it, dude, because it doesn't even make sense. That'll never happen. Obviously, they're going to negotiate from there, but it's just kind of like this, to show the public, like maybe to show the public that, oh, they're super egregious. Be careful, guys. Honestly, my brain can't even comprehend how lost they are, man. And so I don't even know. I don't even know why they would put out 2 billion. Doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense legally. So yeah, I think they're just out of their minds at this point.
Yeah. I think a part of it for me is, in my opinion, if I was to look at it, I just feel like it's a way to kill hope. To spit in the face of those who believe. It's just one more way of reminding us, to kind of keep us in our place, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's what narcissists do, right? They just
exactly.
I'm gonna take everything from you. I'm gonna sue you, blah blah. And they're just really loud, and they're annoying, and like they have zero power. It's unfortunate.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Where do you see crypto in the next 5 years, sir?
Whew, man. So I see. So here's what I'll just share with you my paradigm and how I'm planning, and I don't go with anything else other than what I plan, right? So I base it on history. So I think we're going to go through a pretty historical bull run on the back in September, October, going into 2025. It's going to go absolutely parabolic. I think 2026, you're going to see it collapse back down, which is going to create the normalization of the cryptocurrency industry. Regulation is going to come in and smash thousands of crypto. They are going to destroy them. Again, guys, remember, if the SEC starts coming after it, just the legal, it's $600 an hour. I'm going through it's not a bad thing. I'm going through a compliance thing with my insurance company. It's like $600 an hour just to write the documents, man. So think about that. You started a cryptocurrency, and you're in the bear market now, and you got to hire a lawyer at $600 an hour to go after the SEC. So you're going to see a destruction of a ton of cryptocurrencies in 2026. Then you're going to see banks getting involved. Look, at water's warm, guys. We got protection over here. People are going to start cussing their crypto at their local bank, which do your thing. And then you're going to see a normalization. Then people are going to be operating on a blockchain using cryptocurrency without even knowing it.
That's right. No, I agree with you
without even knowing it. They're going to be like, "Oh, cryptocurrency is a fraud." I'm like, "You're using it right now."
Exactly, every single day. I'm gonna skip past a couple questions and have the last two here. CBDCs. Where do you see those as far as the good and the bad?
I don't think there's anything good with programmable money, man. Yeah, I don't see anything good with the CBDC. I can't think of anything good because I'm a freedom warrior, right? But it's like, again, to like, I always go back to I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to see in this? Jesus, who do you pay your taxes to? Caesar, right? That's why I'm very diversified outside of crypto and in insurance and businesses and tangible things like real estate. There's going to be a CBDC, and here's how I believe they're going to bring it in. If the middle class needs to make about $160,000 a year, what I'm seeing in the public right now, people are struggling. Okay. So everybody resists the CBDC. Well, FedNow Services came out last year. They're getting everything set up on the wallets, right? It's attached to the banks now. So what happens is we go into World War III, inflation goes through the roof. People can't afford to live. They can't get a home. And all of a sudden, like, hey guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $2,000 a month on this programmable money. Just jump on your wallet. Next thing you know, that's when people can't survive and people can't eat. CBDC comes in, then that's programmed. So I don't see any benefit to a central bank digital currency at all. It's programmable money. It makes me very uncomfortable. But so that's why I'm setting my family up big time outside of crypto, and everything's in the fiat system. My insurance is in fiat, but my businesses are in fiat. But just trying to diversify. So just in case, right? So, but yeah, I don't see anything good about a CBDC. I just don't. I don't like programmable money, but we're not going to avoid it.
Yeah, exactly. Your final, first of all, let me just say how much I appreciate you. We have almost 900 people live between X and YouTube. Thank you guys all for tuning in and supporting the show, Crypto4Life, and Coach JV and all that he's doing. Coach JV, your final thoughts to those that are listening, anything that you want to throw out there before we're just over an hour, again, 900 people. Appreciate you for being on. Any final thoughts that you have for the listeners and those that are in support?
Yeah, I just want to say from my family's heart to you, when I say I love you, I genuinely love you guys. There's 3 rules that I live by. I love God with all my heart. I love humanity as I love God. I pull the log out of my eye before I pull the straw to yours. I treat others as I want to be treated. What I would say to the public right now is it's the greatest time in human history to get your shit together. I would put the blinders on. I would develop a disciplined fitness plan, mindset, get back to faith, get back to family, whatever your faith is, get back to family and understand like financial literacy. Just please dive into how money operates. Read the book, Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, Intelligent Investor, Cash Flow Quadrant, because if you do this correctly, you could truly, truly free your family. When you get a big hit in money, if you've never had wealth before, I've been there, I've gone broke 3 times. And so I'm speaking from experience until I understand how money works. If you get a big hit in money, make sure you secure, compound, and grow it. Do not go buy Lambos and big houses and all these things. You can buy those things. We're heading into that paradigm. I can buy those things now with assets, with liability. Like you buy liabilities with assets. If you're going to buy a new car right now, stop. If you have a car that operates and it has 4 wheels, drive a hoopty, man. Just invest.
That's right.
Once that money makes money, make that money make money. And then if you can do that twice, you're going to change your whole family's life. And then from there, make sure you put a trust over all of it. I'm just telling you to make sure you protect yourself, put a trust over it. It's not what type of trust do you need a trust? What type of trust do you need? So
yeah, I agree with you. You know, sometimes, you know, we're struggling, we're barely getting by, but we want to feel instant gratification. So we go out there and we get a $600, $700, $800 car payment with insurance, and you don't realize what if you had that each and every day to put into crazy, to the space. I mean, it'd be mind-boggling. Yeah.
And like you have couples that have 2 cars that are $1,400 a month. If you put $1,400 a month in XRP since 2020, your life would be completely different. And so that's why I'm on every video in nauseum. And I think I lose followers because I do it, but I would rather have that one person. I've had couples come up to me. I had somebody at the Ripple event. They were like, hey, we got rid of one of our cars. We started doing public transportation. They've now got like 30 grand invested in cryptocurrency. They paid off all their debt. I'm like, kudos to you, man. They're teaching their kids how to build. They did it with their kids. They're doing garage sales. I'm like, and then the last thing I say, it's our responsibility to teach the next. If we want to save this country, we have to teach the kids, man.
Yeah.
We have to teach the kids, man. We have to unwire this bullshit indoctrination, trading time for money, going to school to get a job to barely survive. That shit has to stop. Like we have to teach our kids to be their true authentic self, teach them how money works. I don't know. That's one thing I'm just sharing with you guys. Like I'm diving in now. Now the next generation, now we're going to build ecosystems to teach the kids, man.
That's right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's like, what price are you willing to pay today for a better tomorrow? You know, it's an old quote is, do the thing today that other people won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that other people won't have. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. My friend, my brother, Coach JV, it's been an honor, sir. Look forward to working with you and the crew. All those guys, Abs and Johnny Crypto, Good Morning Crypto is amazing. So thank you so much for being on the show, sir.
Love you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Love you too, my man. Guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. Thank you for being here. We'll see you guys mañana. Guess who we have on? 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the one and only Johnny Crypto. We'll see you guys then. It's your boy James, aka 68J, and Coach JV. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Love you guys.